Hello class.
Hello, sir.
Today we shall be talking about simple interest. What is simple interest? Simple interest is a way of calculating the interest that will be charged on an amount of money that is borrowed. You see, all these banks and organized financial institutions, people go there to borrow money. And when they borrow money, they don't just pay the amount they borrow. There is a little amount of money that will be charged on the borrowed amount. And there is a way they calculate to know how much you will pay for a particular amount of money you borrow. So simple interest is a way of calculating the amount that will be charged on the amount of money you are borrowing. Okay? Now, what is interest? Interest is that little amount of money that is added to the principal amount you are borrowing. That will be the service fee of the financial institution that is giving you that money. Are we together?
Yes.
Good. So, principal, that is the actual amount you are collecting from the financial institution. For instance, you want to borrow 500,000. That 500,000 is the principal amount you are borrowing. Now, the interest, probably they will say you pay additional 50,000, which means the amount you'll be paying back to the bank is 550,000. That 50,000 will be the interest, and that 500 will be the principal. Rates. Rate is normally given in percentage. It is called the interest rate. Every financial institution has what we call interest rates at a particular time. Interest rates can change depending on the economic situation of that society at that moment. Then we have what we call time. Time is the duration it will take for you to repay the amount of money you are borrowing from the financial institution. Are we together?
Yes.
Good. It means that after calculating my simple interest, to know the amount a person is going to pay, you are going to say amount equal to the interest that you are going to pay plus the principal you are borrowing. So when you know the amount you are borrowing from the financial institution and you know your interest, then you add them together. That will be the amount you are going to repay. Are we together?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Here is an example of a question. Michael's father had borrowed 1,000 naira from the bank and the rate of interest was 5%. What would be the simple interest if the amount is borrowed for a year? So let us bring out the parameters that is given in this question. So how much did the man borrow? Michael's father, how much did he borrow? 1,000 naira. And what is the borrowed amount? What do we call it? We call it the word principal. Good. The principal amount borrowed is 1,000 naira from the bank, and the rate of interest was 5%. I told you. Now, if they twist the question anyhow they want to twist it, rate is always given in percentage. So anywhere you see at so percent, it means that percentage is the rate. Are we together? Yes. So rate equal to 5%. And what is given again? Look at the question. What is given again in the question? Year. And what is that year? Time. Good. So time, or the duration, is a year. What is my formula? Recall that simple interest is what? Principal times time times rate over 100. That is the formula. So it means that we know the principle, we know the time, we know the rate. What we don't know is the simple interest we are asked to calculate. Is that okay?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
Little by little?
Yes, sir.
Can I proceed?
Yes.
Good. So simple interest equal to 1,000 times 5 times a year. 1 over 100. Now this is a direct thing for you to do. 2 zeros cancel 2 zeros. I am left with what? 10 times 5 times 1. Divide by 1 is the same thing as that figure, right? So 10 times 5 is what? 50. 50 times 1 is what? 50. Same. So it means the simple interest is 50 naira. Now, if Michael's father borrowed 1,000 naira, at the simple interest now that we know 50 naira, how much is he going to pay back to the bank? I told you that the amount an individual is going to pay back will be what? The interest plus the principal, right?
Yes.
So how much is Michael's father going to pay back to the bank in a year? After a year, how much is he going to pay? Speak out. No. How much is this? So the amount will be what? Let us quickly work it out. Amount will be 1,000 naira plus 50 naira. That will give us what?
1,050 naira.
Beautiful. 1,050 naira. That is the amount that will be repaid. Are we together?
Yes.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In concluding the calculation for the simple interest, recall that simple interest equal to principal times time times rate. And it is not all the time that you'll be asked to calculate simple interest. Hello? Sometimes you can be given simple interest and you'll be asked to calculate the principal. Sometimes you'll be given other parameters and you'll be asked to calculate the time or even the rate. So you are going to toy with this formula all around. Now, supposing your simple interest is given and you're asked to calculate the principal, what are you going to do? Remember from our earlier calculations, you're going to say multiply this side by the numerator 100, multiply this side by the numerator 100, right? To eliminate this denominator 100. Are we together? Yes. So what do we have now? We have 100 times simple interest equal to principal times time times rate. And recall that we are to calculate the principal. To remove this time and rate from this side, what do I have to do? Somebody, can you remember? Yes.
Cross multiply.
No, you don't cross multiply. You divide both sides by the time and the rate. You divide both sides by the parameter you want to remove. So here now you're going to divide by time and rate by time and rate. So time will cancel time here, rate will cancel rate here. So you're going to have principal equal to what? 100 times simple interest over time times rate. Are we together?
Yes.
So, supposing it is time we want to calculate, what are we going to do? We are going to divide both sides by what? Principal and rate. To leave only time at this side. So, if it is time we are calculating, it means that you are going to have time equal to what? 100 times simple interest over principal times what? Rate. Supposing it is rate you want to calculate, what are you going to have? Rate will be equal to 100 times simple interest over principal times time. Beautiful. Put your hands together for yourself. So I'm going to leave you with an assignment now. Okay? I will leave you with this assignment to work out. Robert purchased a car worth 48,000 naira. He borrowed the money from the bank at 10% per annum for a period of 4 years. How much will he pay after the period? Now, what is the principle from this question? Speak out.
48,000.
Beautiful. What is the rate?
7%.
Beautiful. And what is the time?
4 years.
Can you do this for me?
Yes.
You do it?
Yes.
Good. Put your hands together for yourself. So submit your assignment first thing tomorrow morning. See ya.